Madam Chair, may I introduce myself? I am Janice Stargardt from Cambridge. At the request of the Myanmar delegation, I am attempting to answer the questions or the requests for additional information that have been raised by the committee members. We have a complete sequence of dates, both radiocarbon and stylistic dates, extending over 1,000 years for these three Pew ancient cities. Everybody who has spoken from the committee have agreed about their outstanding universal value. I would like to respond to the questions about why three cities are necessary to justify that. In other words, why a serial nomination rather than a single city. The answer to that is they do form a series from north to south, a geographical series. They also form an environmental series in that the northernmost city, Halin, is suffering from the most arid environment. But that site presents the best evidence of the transition from late Iron Age villages into a coalesced urban settlement of a particular sort, the extended urban site. In other words, a coalition of villages surrounded by massive fortifications with a central brick palace area and irrigation works integrated into that urban environment. Bektano, the second city, is in the middle of the dry zone, still suffering from an arid environment, but it has produced a radiocarbon date from the early 2nd century BC, showing that it had already contacts with India and identifiable parts of India, namely the Pataliputra of the capital of the great Emperor Ashoka, the great patron of Buddhism. Because the first bricks in the whole of Southeast Asia occur in that site, in a monument, and those bricks are constructed to the dimensions, the standardized dimensions of the Emperor Ashoka's bricks. It also has the earliest cluster of typical Indian Buddhist monuments, a stupa, a shrine, and a great monastery, which is datable to the 4th century AD. Bektano also has most brilliant examples of terracotta burial urns. Sri Kshetra, in the southernmost city, is on the threshold of the wet zone of lower Myanmar, and it is the greatest, the largest, and the most splendid city of them all. I regret that some of the beauties of Bektano were not shown this morning in the presentation, but it truly has the largest spatial area, the largest number of hydraulic works integrated into the city, immense cylindrical stupas, and a collection of Pali and Pew language inscriptions to indicate also not only what it received from outside, but from what it passed on to other areas of Southeast Asia. I would like to say that under criterion 2, it's particularly well documented that the Pew adopted a particular form of Buddhism, namely the Pali-based Buddhism of southern India and Sri Lanka. And it preserved that tradition, passed it on to the Pew Empire of Myanmar, but also passed it on to Thailand. And by the 12th century AD, all the countries of mainland Southeast Asia had converted to that type of Buddhism. So, Madam Chair, I think that the regional importance of this tradition over an immense area is justified. technological innovation can also be justified and has been justified in the nomination dossier through the hydraulic system, which distinguish these cities of extended urban format from Indian cities of extended urban format. The other questions for clarification about threats to site development or tourism, I think have been answered by the observations of the delegation from Jamaica. And of course, regarding local support, which also protects the sites. And it's noteworthy that the stakeholders from the 3 Pew cities have come here to this meeting, and perhaps they could stand. So that is a tangible human demonstration of support for protection and management. I hope that I have answered all the questions, Madam Chair.
Yes, thank you. Poland, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Your Highness. I think we have to remember that always we have to provide our decision based on the scientific analysis, which should be based on scientific research. Your Highness, according to your wish, Poland fully supports the inscription of Myanmar, Pew Ancient cities based on the criterion 2, 3, and 4. Thank you very much, Your Highness.
Thank you very much, Poland. ICOMOS, you now have the floor.